I'm a simp.
As a man, why would you say the word no? That is a very feminine word, especially when you use it with a woman. It is not nice, and we need you to tap into your masculinity. Show us that you can still get it done. Say, not right now, maybe later.
I agree, it's very feminine. Me myself, I use the choice words of fuck no. Not right now and maybe later leaves a little hope, just a little hope that it might get done. I need you to know it ain't gonna happen. Bitch, I said no.
No, it's the gaslighting for me.
I can't wait to see these comments. I can't wait to look at these comments. She said it's the gaslighting. She's definitely gaslighting. But for simple-minded people, it will definitely work. And there's a lot of those out here, especially when lust gets involved as well.
Is the trying to shame and guilt and insult men into helping the poor. Because as a man is belittling your manhood, is to say that you're not man enough. Real men don't say no. It's feminine if you're going to say no. It's feminine when you have self-respect and you have boundaries and you're not allowing all those poor people to take out all your money. As I said, it would have been one thing if these women will come straight forward and say, listen, I'm broke, I'm poor, can you please help me with the bills? But instead, they want to front and act as if they got it together. Meanwhile, they have to gaslight men into buying them lunch.
The ghetto.
Those of us with critical thinking skills, those of us with common sense can see straight through their BS. I don't know who they think they're fooling.
Yeah.
They have this whole movement talking about how to beg men for money, as if men cannot see the same video that you're... Point and a half.
The sweet man who speaks kindly to me, who's...
Hold on real quick. I want to watch that one too. Dang, she had another one lined up. So let's just address this whole connotation that basically the woman introduced. What I'm referring to, she said it as a man, if you say no, that's feminine. That is just simply not true. That's actually the opposite of true. It's actually masculine to be able to say no and to be able to ultimately, because if you're saying no, that means you're standing up for what you believe in. And I think we would all argue that that's masculine, as well as that's being assertive, which being assertive is also a masculine trait. And it trickles into a lot of different areas. It doesn't just have to trickle into relationship. That's actually why they acted like there was a discrepancy as far as, or I'm not going to say acted like, but there was a discrepancy as far as women getting paid less than men in the workforce. And one of the contributors is because women don't really negotiate, is what we find. They don't really negotiate. They don't really assert. They will just be a little bit more. See, it's acceptable in society right now for women to be telling men what they better be, and then men having to capitulate to that because it's acceptable, and it's even systematized to be that way. It's systematic because the easiest way to get to a man is through his woman. She's the most susceptible. She's going to be the weak link that can ultimately leave him exposed and vulnerable. But the thing is, where I'm going with this is, men aren't necessarily assertive when it comes to women today. That whole thing, and it's been that way for a while. I'm not gonna lie. You know, they used to have a thing where a woman could go tell you, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. I don't know who was the first person who got told that and then started running around telling everybody, yeah, man, she said I had to sleep on the couch. You know what I mean? I just listened. And then it started getting passed along. And now all of a sudden, you got all these men sleeping on the couch. But pretty much in other situations, you appreciate a man being assertive, is ultimately what I'm saying. But all of a sudden now, when it comes down to a dynamic with a woman, you expect him to operate in a different way. I think that's incredible. And it's simply a cognitive dissonance to think that things work that way. Sure, it'd be nice for your benefit for it to work that way, but it just simply doesn't. And ultimately, the plain fact is that saying no, being able to say no, which is ultimately having courage and strength, these are masculine traits. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. Really just a click. It's really just a click. So if you're here anyway, you might as well click that like button. And also, if you can hype the video as well.
Beg men for money, as if men cannot see the same video that you're point and off.
The sweet man who speaks kindly to me, who's very gentle with me, who enjoys making me happy, seeing me smile makes him smile, who's very intentional, who likes date nights, who likes to buy me things just because he thought of me and said, you know what, I think she would like this. I want him. And I don't know why y'all try to put a label on this type of man, a man that actually loves women. I don't know why y'all labeled it as a simp, but I don't give a damn what y'all call him. Simp, pimp, walk with a limp. I want him. Okay, so I don't know where this title of simp came from, trying to make other men feel lesser than for liking women and treating them right, specifically their girlfriend or their wife. They're treating the woman in their life like the queen that she should be to them. He's a simp. Well, guess what? I want every simp in my DMs.
You see, and that's exactly why he's a simp. Because
See, a queen. A queen would be looking for the king, the guy, right? Because she said that's going to treat me like a queen. Ma'am, you're not a queen. Because that doesn't, how you going to be a queen with a bunch of different kings? She said, I want every simp in my DMs. Did you? I listened closely. You should be wanting your simp in your DMs. But she wants she wants her DMs to be flooded. Ultimately, so she gets to vet through a bunch of men. Come on, ma'am. That don't even sound right. And see, if you were a queen, then that would mean that you would have a responsibility as far as the words that come out of your mouth and the way that you represent yourself, because you would understand that you, as a byproduct, also represent the kingdom, your king's kingdom. That in itself, talking about all the kings come to my DMs. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a queen, ma'am. That sounds like a mistress.
he's doing all of this, but you have multiple men that you're entertaining in your DM. He's treating you right. He's doing all of
I
these
know I
things,
heard that
making
right.
you smile and making you feel like the best woman in the world. But meanwhile, you're entertaining other men, and meanwhile, you're not doing anything for him.
All right. Let's go.
Everybody, if you got $1 to spare, $5, $10. So far, our highest donator is $20. Thank you, Kiana Springer, for a $5 dono. These donos will be going towards my ATO trip. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. If y'all are sending something in.
Towards what? Excuse me? Oh, hell no. They said the donations are going to be going, they're raising money and getting people to donate, and they're online begging to go on an ATL trip. Do you see how this begging is just getting out of control? You can go online and beg for a trip now. Well, hey, listen, y'all. To my audience, I'm tired of this, but it's been shown that it can happen. So I'm going to be putting in a link in my description for my trip to Greece, y'all. I need everybody in the DXU family. I need us to rally together. I want to take a trip to Greece in Q3, which Q3 is right now. So we need to raise that money ASAP. And then also, I was thinking I might even go to Japan too. So we need to get that ready on the back end. I want to go to Japan for the holidays, probably around October, November. So we're gonna start raising that. I'm just kidding, but wow, this really opens up the possibilities when it comes to begging. I would argue, see, this video is about dry begging. Oh, there ain't nothing dry about this. Shoot, he He's, they said what it was, which was they going on a trip. This is direct begging right here.
If y'all not and just here supporting, I appreciate you. The goal for tonight is 250 to 300. Let's see if we can push it. Or I'm gonna have to go sell some good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go. Y'all might
All
be getting a
right,
story
we're
time
done.
tonight if I'm
We're
on.
done. We're done. We're done, sir. We're done.
Have y'all seen that thread on Twitter of men showing
No
receipts
wonder he trying to go to
basically of
Atlanta.
women?
All right. The caption says men showing receipts of women begging them for money. Oh, so men were showing receipts of women begging them for money. Is she gonna show the receipts?
Have y'all seen that thread on Twitter of men showing receipts basically of women like begging them for money? When I tell you, I've been dying laughing at that thread for like days now. I can't believe it, but I'm actually on the man's side when it
She said
comes
she
to
been
this
laughing.
because the way that some of these women are begging men for money, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a pick me, and I totally feel like a man should be paying for a lot of things. But asking a
Really?
man for money and you've only known him for 2 days is just.
She said I'm not a pick me, and I feel like a man should be paying for a lot of things. So what should you be doing? This is what it got to come back to. People be knowing exactly what a man's supposed to do. What you supposed to do, and more specifically, how are you supposed to carry yourself? They know exactly the type of man they want, but yet they don't know that a man doesn't want a woman who came online and said all the men come flood over to my DMs. Not even caring about how men think or what we care about, but just how we can do for you. Talking about, yeah, I believe a man's supposed to be paying for a lot of things. Okay, well, how are y'all supposed to operate and carry yourselves? Because from what I've been seeing, man, we're carrying ourselves wild out here, coming with a lot. And I don't know if that's necessarily what men want.
For money and you've only known him for 2 days is just, it's wicked. Really hurting my heart, y'all. I'm hoping that majority of those women actually hate those men and they just want them to stop texting them. Because if there's a man that you
Hmm.
don't want him around and he refuses to leave you alone, I'm telling you, the quickest way to get rid of him is to ask him for some money. I promise you. It works every time. Like,
No. That's not true. See, y'all just are trying to get something out of the situation. You're like, well, see, you're still willing to deal with them, but it's got to make sense, which really just shows your money hungriness and ultimately the fact that you're a gold digger. Honestly, y'all, a lot of y'all don't even want men. Honestly, when it comes to dating, what a lot of y'all prioritize more than the actual sentient being that will be sitting across from you is actually their money and what they can actually provide. And that's the truth. And that's what we don't really address. You'll have a whole man sitting in front of you, but your priority is the money. So I think that's what that reveals is that we're prioritizing money in dating as opposed to the actual person and their characteristics and their traits, as well as other things, even as far as like some of the things you like. Some of the traits a lot of times are the worst things within a man. For example, I've seen dudes in prison struggling with a lot of things, getting jobs, having a free time. I've seen them struggle with a lot of things. But what I've never seen them struggle with is women. I've never seen dudes in prison that can't even do nothing for a woman and don't even have their freedom. I've never seen them struggling for women. So the priorities are just all wrong. And by the way, I've never seen women dry begging with dudes in prison either. Oh, they treat them like kings. But the productive dudes out here that's actually making things happen and keeping this world turning, all of a sudden they gotta pay to play. I think that's kind of incredible, in my opinion. I think things are backwards. It's just out of whack.
a charm, okay? Ask that man for some money. Now, if he's annoying and won't go away, and you ask him for some money and he send it and he still don't go away, then you got another problem on your hands, and I'm gonna say that ain't really a problem. I have
Somebody in the comments said, it's a woman. She said, asking and begging are two different things. Ma'am, be quiet. This is what we're talking about. Somebody even commented back to her. She said, asking for money is begging. She gonna say, okay, she responded. She said, asking for cat is too, especially if you're not my man. Really, ma'am? And somebody replied to that. They said, it's equal pleasure. Laugh my A off. I'd be so confused when women say this. Right. Right. Exactly. Y'all like it just as much as us. It just depends on who it is. I think that's another thing. The dudes in jail don't have to ask for that. But the productive dudes out here working, all of a sudden they gotta when they want it, they're asking for it. Ain't that something? You be talking to the dude in jail, you can't wait for him to get out. Oh, I can't wait for you to come. I need you to come up here and do this. The dude you be on the date with, he's taking you to Roof Chris. You like, plan it right here. Right here. All right, have a good night. I digress. But yeah, let's finish out the thought. This is a funny video.
the hardest time asking a man for something. Like, I would rather you just do as opposed to me having to ask. But it's females out here really asking men, like, I'm talking about not even saying good morning first, just straight out, like, I
Oh
need
yeah.
this.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Like, as a woman that takes care of the majority of all of her own responsibilities, I don't really want to have to ask you for this, and that. Like, I would rather you, after observation, like, see how I live and
Are you single? What do you mean the majority of your responsibilities? Who's offsetting the rest of it?
then just add to that. Am I crazy? Maybe I need to get out here and start dry begging.
See,
Ask
she's in on it too. She's open to it because it's just something that's been ingrained in the masses of a lot of these women to where it's just like, just use a man willy nilly, however you want, for however it's going to benefit you, and don't even think about any type of reciprocation as far as that they actually have wants to, and that they are a person as well. It's incredible. But then you see what we're seeing now. Things are just all over the place now. And you don't really have families coming together. You don't really have too many families. And everybody's just in their separate little silos, and they come out when they need certain things, and then they go back to their little cubby hole. And that's the society that we have now.
I would just like to understand how the same people be broke every year, year after year after year. You calling people begging to borrow money, lend you this, can you have that? When are you actually gonna do something about your life so you don't stay in the same circumstance? I don't understand. Like, I would never be calling the same person year after year. Could you send me some money for food? Can you cash at me? Can I borrow? Like, at what point in time do you be like, damn, I'm tired of calling people and asking them for shit. Maybe I should figure out how I can get shit for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would just
I agree. Solve the problem.
If you're talking to a guy and you say something,
The caption says, let's all take a look at what dry begging looks like. So it looks like this is going to be a prime example.
if you're talking to a guy and you say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I didn't eat today," and he doesn't offer to get you food or offer to order you food or bring you food, or you don't get a Cash App Zelle notification in 5 minutes, he doesn't like
In
you.
5 minutes.
He doesn't like you because
No, this is what manipulation looks like, which I guess is also dry begging. I'm hungry. Okay. Go get yourself something to eat. You don't got a job. It depends who you are, but at the same time, it's like you trying to if you come at me like that, just out here using people, man, and playing games. Who got time for this? What men who got stuff going on have time to be having to have their antennas up to be alert to all these little games that y'all are playing? Who got time for this? If you play with me like this, if you play a game with me like this, you got to get the F away from me expeditiously. And you can't come back. I don't play these type of games. We're going to keep things on the up and up. And if I feel like you're trying to manipulate me, if I feel like you're trying to be slick and sly around me, then you got to get from the F around me. Point blank, period. And it's a no. I want authentic, genuine people around me is what I'm ultimately saying. I'm not finna be having people where I can see this within you, because little things are gonna become big things. And so if you already are trying to manipulate at a lower level, then I feel like it's gonna continue to evolve, especially when or if you have success with it. You're just gonna dial it up.
Minutes, he doesn't like you. He doesn't like you because how can your just no. He doesn't like
I mean, at some point, this has to start to get embarrassing for some of y'all. As a grown adult, you cannot find $20 to feed yourself. This is called dry begging. That's what it is. As much as some of y'all make videos saying that you're strong and independent and you don't need a man, y'all sure like to beg men for money. And let's be honest, if you're talking to a guy and the first thing you want to do is try to find a way to see if he's going to give you money, you don't like him. I understand that times are tough, but you can't find money to feed yourself some food. Like, it's that bad. And then you get on the internet and make this video and embarrass yourself further. It's embarrassing to see. Stop it.
This woman in the comments said, the more I watch this app, the more I feel sorry for the men. And then somebody responded to her. He said, it sucks because I'd say a pretty decent percentage of guys wants love, but it's cheaper and peaceful to just not deal with it because girls like her are more common than the girls that aren't like her. That's interesting.
Me and my best friend was having this conversation the other night, and she was just saying, like, it is just so broke and tacky for a woman to be asking a man to get her hair and her nails done. And I couldn't agree more. I don't give a fuck what's going on. My appointments are booked. My nail tech knows she's seeing me twice in a month. I'm sending my deposit for both of my appointments. I'm sending my $100 deposit as soon as she open the books up. And then when I go to my appointment, I'm paying anywhere from $55 with tip to $90 with tip when I get my nails done, depending on when I'm getting it done. My hairstylist, she know I'm on them books. I just got my hair done about 5 times in the past 4 weeks. If you like, well, I'm not gonna say 4 weeks. I hit that quick week for like 2 weeks. I keep my hair done. I keep my hair and my nails done. I'm not looking for a nigga to sponsor that. He gonna see that when he get around me. I keep expensive perfume. I keep myself up. I stay shopping. I'm always.
Somebody in the caption said, girl, please, I'm asking for whatever I want. I gotta see these replies. Somebody said, if you're broke, just say that. Somebody said, flat purse vibes. But then somebody came to her defense and said, the broke men in the replies kill me. See, this is the manipulation, the gaslighting, and really just the trying to insult. Somebody said, you can ask for whatever you want, don't mean you're gonna get it though. She replied to him, says, I'll always get it. Yeah, okay. You come online making a fool out of yourself. Let's see. Hold on. Since you gonna come online making a I ain't even gonna do her like that. I ain't even gonna do her like that, but no, ma'am. You're not always gonna get it. I don't but hey.
Doing that shop. I'm not asking no nigga for no petty ass money for my girl maintenance. That is so broke and tacky. It really is.
Uh-oh. Well, she's exposed.
I don't know who needs to hear this today, but dry begging is a form of emotional manipulation. And there's a good chance somebody's doing it to you right now. Dry begging is when someone does not ask for what they want directly. Instead, they make statements that are designed to make you feel guilty enough to offer it. They sigh loudly about how tired they are. They mention how hard things have been. They talk about what they cannot afford and what they're going through and what they wish they had. And then they wait. They wait for you to fill in the blank, to offer the money, the help, the energy that they never technically asked for. And when you do not, suddenly you're the bad guy. That's not vulnerability, that's strategy. There's a difference between someone genuinely sharing their struggles and someone.
You know, I feel like I'm starting to get a real good grasp on what dry begging is. I don't know about you all. The more we watch, I got a question though. Is this dry begging? So let's say someone texts you, right? We'll just say it's a family member. And let's say they text you and they just text you, hey, what are you up to? And then you're like, oh, nothing, just chilling, relaxing on this day. You think that is coming from a good place. And so they're like, what are you up to? You're like, just chilling, just relaxing on a Sunday. They're like, oh, great. Because I'm moving. Can you come help me move? And then it's like, that was manipulation. Because why didn't you give me the option before you just text me talking about what are you doing? It's like you was trying to see, basically see that I wasn't doing nothing and get the confirmation of that. So that then you could ask me to come do something. And then now if I say no, it's like, oh, well, you wasn't doing nothing. So you just don't want to help me. As opposed to how you should have started the conversation was, hey, hope your Sunday is going well. I'm moving. Do you think you can come and help me? And then at the very least, you give the person the opportunity to lie and act like they busy. But you're going to try to find out first if somebody busy by being slick. And then you're going to come with what you come with. Or sometimes people will be trying to call you so that they can spring something on you. And then they'll text you talking about call me back, it's an emergency. Call you back, okay, is it a secret emergency? Because why you didn't text me what the emergency was then? Then you'll get a call back, depending on if I deem it as an emergency, like you said. It's a lot of ways people will try to be doing manipulation. And I don't play that. And I'm not susceptible to that. And so if you didn't tell me what the emergency was, you might get a response back, you might not. Because you had enough time to sit here and type out it's an emergency, but you couldn't type out what the emergency was. It's a covert emergency. It's a confidential emergency that you can't text so that it gets my attention. No, I feel like you're playing. Feel like you're playing games. Then you're gonna call. It ain't gonna be nothing. It's gonna be something they gotta ask you to do or whatever. Yeah, I don't. But is that dry begging? Does that kind of fall within the confines of what we're talking about today?
There's a difference between someone genuinely sharing their struggles and someone performing their struggles specifically for your response. Real communication asks for what it needs. Dry begging,
right?
It creates an environment where you feel responsible for solving a problem that was never handed to you directly. It keeps you guessing, guilty, and giving, while the other person never has to be accountable for making a single request. You're allowed to name this out. You're allowed to notice it. You're allowed to say, stop dry begging, and you're allowed to absolutely not fill in the blanks. Those blanks that were left empty on purpose. Not every hint is an accident. You have to learn how to protect your energy accordingly.
Yeah.
Because dry beggars have no boundaries.
No boundaries. Yeah.
I don't know who needs to hear this.
I love that. That's 100%. And you have to also make peace with being misunderstood. Especially when people want to misunderstand you and mischaracterize you. One of my favorite quotes is, never argue with someone who benefits from misunderstanding you. So that could be usually that's going to come in the form of just having different opinions. We can even see it down to today where from a political standpoint, things have never been more divided than what they are. And so why would you argue with somebody? Like, why would you go into, like, for example, if you're a Republican, why would you go into a Democratic environment to argue with them when there's not going to be anything you can say to convince them. If anything, they're just looking for something to take out of context to then try to use against you, and vice versa. And so that's one thing I never do. So, for example, in a gaslight situation, or in the example that I gave, if you if you text me talking about some what are you doing, and then I say nothing, and then you come back with, oh, okay, well, can you come do this? Then I might just be like, no, no extra explanation. No, that's it. That's all you get. If you get that, because I might not even text you back. And you'll be like, dang, what's going on? Yeah, go try that with somebody else. And maybe you'll misunderstand me. And that's not my problem. Because I definitely understand what you did. And you're not about to put me in it. Because now you're putting me in a situation where we could be going back and forth. And I'm not even going to address your behavior. I'm going to just take it as a data point. And so next time, if you ask me, hey, what are you up to? I remember not to answer your question. Or I might even just cut to the chase, say, what you need, what you want. Because you pulled it already. And so and it is what it is. Maybe you'll be like, oh, he's real direct and just rude. You can misunderstand that. But from my perspective, no, you're rude. Because I know what you're really trying to do. And I understand it. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not real and it doesn't exist. But at the same time, I'm not going to go back and forth with you either. And if you want to, because another thing, I mean, if I do find out that you're talking about me or you're saying things about my character, then that makes it even easier. Because then I don't want nothing to do with you. And my absence is going to speak louder than my words. But we'll leave it there. Y'all, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel as well, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments, where it will show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available to everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, the join button's on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.